Every spring, many of us roll up our sleeves, dig into the soil, and start all over again, planting crops that give us one season's harvest, then disappear. Year after year, it's the same routine: buying seeds, prepping beds, replanting. It's rewarding, sure, but also tiring. But what if you could skip the annual hustle and still enjoy a garden full of fresh, homegrown food? In this video, I'm sharing 13 perennial crops, plants you only need to plant once, and they'll keep feeding you for years. Some are well-loved classics. Others are hidden treasures perfect for home gardens, especially if you're looking to work smarter, not harder. And number 10, it's surprisingly easy to grow, yet one of the most productive crops you can plant. Don't miss it. If you're someone who loves gardening, but also values your time and energy, perennial crops are a game changer. They come back year after year with minimal care, and many are tough enough to handle heat, cold, and even pests better than annuals. Their deep roots help build soil health, conserve water, and bring up nutrients that shallow plants can't reach. For older gardeners, or anyone planning to enjoy their retirement with less bending, weeding, and digging, perennials are like the gift that keeps on giving. From flavorful herbs to nutrient-rich greens and delicious fruits and roots, these plants offer long-term harvests with less hassle. So whether you got a full backyard, a raised bed, or just a patch of sun, this list could transform the way you garden forever. Let's dig in. Number 1, chives. Chives are a perfect starter perennial for anyone looking to grow fresh food with minimal effort, especially older gardeners who want low-maintenance, high-reward plants. This hardy herb grows in tidy clumps, requires very little attention, and comes back year after year, often living for decades. You can harvest the mild, onion-flavored leaves just weeks after planting, and they'll continue to grow back throughout the season. They're perfect for tossing into scrambled eggs, soups, or baked potatoes. In late spring, chives bloom with cheerful purple pom-pom flowers that not only look lovely, but also attract bees and other pollinators. Chives thrive in full sun or partial shade and don't mind less than perfect soil. They tolerate drought, neglect, and even cold winters. Plus, every few years, you could divide and replant the clumps, great for sharing with friends or expanding your garden without spending another dime. For seniors who enjoy the rewards of gardening without all the heavy lifting, chives offer beauty, flavor, and simplicity in one small but mighty plant. Plant them once, and they'll quietly earn their keep for years to come. Number 2, garlic chives. Garlic chives are a fantastic addition to any low-maintenance garden, especially for older gardeners who enjoy bold flavor without a lot of work. Unlike regular chives, garlic chives have flat, grass-like leaves with a subtle garlicky kick, perfect for stir-fries, dumplings, soups, and marinades. This perennial herb is tough and forgiving. Once established, it forms a lush green clump that comes back stronger every year. It thrives in full sun, but will tolerate some shade, and as long as the soil drains well and gets occasional water, garlic chives will flourish. In late summer, the plant sends up clusters of delicate white, star-shaped flowers that are not only beautiful, but edible and loved by pollinators. You can snip the leaves as needed throughout the growing season, and they'll regrow again and again. For seniors who want a no-fuss herb that delivers big on taste, garlic chives are a must. They add both charm and spice to the garden. Plant once, enjoy for years. Number 3, sorrel. Sorrel is a bright, lemony-tasting leafy green that's perfect for gardeners looking to add flavor and nutrition early in the season. For older gardeners who want something low-maintenance but rewarding, sorrel is a winner. It's one of the first plants to pop up in spring, sometimes even before the snow melts, giving you fresh greens when little else is growing. This perennial herb is incredibly hardy. Once planted in fertile, well-drained soil, it will return year after year with minimal care. Just snip the leaves as needed, and they'll regrow quickly. Sorrel thrives in both full sun and partial shade, and can tolerate a range of soil conditions. Because it spreads easily, it's best to give sorrel its own space in the garden. But its vitamin-rich leaves make that space worth it. Toss it in soups, sauces, or salads for a refreshing, citrusy zing. No lemon required. For seniors who want early season harvest with little work, sorrel is a delightful addition. Number 4. Lovage. Lovage is an old-fashioned herb that deserves a place in modern perennial gardens, especially for older gardeners who remember its use or want something versatile and low effort. With a bold, celery-like flavor and a hint of parsley and anise, lovage adds depth to soups, stews, and broths. This perennial can grow quite tall, up to 6 feet, and needs space, but it rewards with lush foliage and multiple harvest uses. You can eat the leaves, use the hollow stems as straws for savory drinks, and even collect the seeds as a flavorful spice. Lovage thrives in full sun to partial shade and prefers rich, moist soil. Once planted, it asks for very little, just some occasional water and cutting back at season's end. Its large yellow flower clusters also attract beneficial insects, making it a great companion in the garden. For seniors looking for a plant once, enjoy for years herb that does it all. Lovage is both practical and nostalgic. Number 5. Watercress. Watercress is a nutrient-dense leafy green that's perfect for older gardeners looking for healthy, low-effort crops. Often called a superfood, just a handful of its peppery green leaves delivers a powerful dose of vitamins A, C, and K, along with calcium and antioxidants. And the best part? It grows back year after year once established. This perennial loves moisture, so it thrives near ponds, streams, or in containers kept consistently damp. If you don't have a water source, you can still grow watercress successfully in a shallow tray or pot with good drainage and regular watering. It prefers cooler temperatures and partial shade, making it a great spring and fall crop. Harvest is easy. Just snip the tender stems and new shoots will take their place in no time. Whether you're tossing it into salads, blending it into soup, or adding it to sandwiches, watercress brings a fresh, peppery bite to every meal. For seniors wanting a small, space-saving green that gives back more than it takes, watercress is a perfect perennial, healthy, hardy, and endlessly productive. Number 6. Egyptian walking onion. Egyptian walking onions are a fun and fascinating perennial for gardeners of all ages, but especially appealing for older folks who enjoy watching nature do the work. These quirky onions walk by producing small bulbs or bulbils at the top of their stalks. When they get heavy, the stalk bends down and the bulbils plant themselves, starting a new onion in a new spot. You can harvest in 3 ways. Snip the green stalks like scallions, dig up the underground bulbs for full onion flavor, or collect and replant the top bulbils. These onions are incredibly hardy, resistant to cold, pests, and neglect, and they thrive in full sun with well-drained soil. Once established, they'll produce for decades with very little attention. For seniors who enjoy dependable crops that are as fun as they are useful, the Egyptian walking onion offers both flavor and entertainment, all from one planting. Number 7. Horseradish. Horseradish is a rugged, perennial root crop perfect for older gardeners who like bold flavors and low-maintenance plants. Once planted, horseradish grows quickly and spreads easily, delivering thick, spicy roots that add a fiery kick to sauces, roasts, and pickles. Plant it in full sun with well-drained soil, and it will thrive for years with almost no care. Each fall, dig up what you need and leave some root pieces in the ground. Those will grow into next year's crop. Because it spreads so vigorously, it's smart to plant horseradish in containers or a dedicated patch to keep it from taking over. This hardy plant handles drought, cold, and neglect with ease. It's a true plant once, harvest for decades kind of crop. For seniors who enjoy strong flavors and dependable returns, horseradish is a spicy, spirited addition to the perennial garden. Number 8. Rhubarb. Rhubarb is a perennial favorite, especially among older gardeners who appreciate its old-time charm and tart, fruity flavor. Once planted, rhubarb takes about a year or 2 to get established, but after that, it reliably comes back every spring, often producing for 10 years or more with very little care. It thrives in cooler climates and prefers full sun and rich, well-drained soil. The stalks are the edible part, bold red or green with a tangy taste that shines in pies, sauces, jams, and compotes. But take care. The leaves are toxic and should always be discarded. Rhubarb is easy to maintain. Just mulch in the fall, keep the bed weeded, and harvest by gently pulling the stalks when they reach full size. Once mature, a single plant can give pounds of stalks each season. For seniors who want a no-fuss, dependable spring crop with a touch of nostalgia, rhubarb is a sweet and tart choice that brings beauty and bounty to the perennial garden year after year. Number 9. Sweet potato. Sweet potatoes are often thought of as annuals, but in warm climates, they're actually long-lived perennials and a dream for older gardeners who want more food with less effort. Once established, sweet potato vines sprawl across the garden, suppressing weeds and conserving moisture while producing 2 harvests in one. Nutritious tubers underground and tender, edible greens above. These plants thrive in full sun and loose, well-drained soil. They're incredibly forgiving, drought-tolerant, pest-resistant, and low-maintenance. The young leaves can be sautéed or added to soups just like spinach, and the tubers can be harvested in late summer or fall, depending on your climate. If left undisturbed in mild regions, sweet potatoes will resprout and spread year after year. In colder areas, they can still be grown annually with slips or cuttings saved from the previous season. For seniors looking to grow more food in less space, with minimal replanting, sweet potatoes are a top-tier choice. They offer beauty, nutrition, and reliable yields above and below ground. Number 10. Asparagus. Asparagus is a long-term investment that rewards patient gardeners, especially older folks who enjoy a dependable harvest each spring without replanting. Once you plant asparagus crowns, it takes about 2 to 3 years before you can harvest fully. But after that, this hardy perennial can keep producing tender spears every year for 20 years or more. It thrives in full sun and well-drained soil, and it doesn't ask for much once established. Just keep the bed mulched, cut back old fronds in winter, and let it rest through the cold months. Come spring, those tasty spears push up like clockwork. Asparagus is one of the few vegetables you can enjoy from the same plant for decades. And because it emerges early in the season, it's one of the first crops you'll harvest after winter. For older gardeners seeking low maintenance, long-term food, asparagus is a garden essential. Plant it once and enjoy fresh, flavorful results year after year. Number 11. Blackberries and raspberries. Blackberries and raspberries are among the most rewarding perennial fruits you can grow. Once planted, these bramble berries come back stronger each year, yielding sweet, sun-ripened fruit for well over a decade with just a little care. They grow best in full sun and well-drained soil. In the first year, you'll see modest growth, but by year 2 or 3, you'll be harvesting bowlfuls every summer. With a simple trellis or support system, they're easy to manage and even easier to pick. Annual pruning and a bit of thinning help keep them productive and healthy. And because they're packed with antioxidants, vitamin C, and fiber, these berries are just as good for your health as they are for your taste buds. For older gardeners, berry patches offer beauty, abundance, and an easy stroll-in pick experience. Whether eaten fresh, frozen, or made in a jam, blackberries and raspberries are a perennial gift that keeps on giving. Number 12. Goji berries. Goji berries, also known as wolfberries, are a wonderful addition to a low-maintenance, health-focused garden, especially for older gardeners who want nutrient-dense food without the fuss. These hardy perennial shrubs produce bright orange-red berries packed with antioxidants, vitamin A, and amino acids. Once established in full sun and well-drained soil, goji plants are tough, drought-tolerant, and cold-hardy. They can grow into productive hedges, yielding fresh berries by the 2nd or 3rd year. The berries can be eaten fresh, dried like raisins, or added to teas and smoothies. Goji shrubs require minimal pruning and are resilient to pests, making them easy to manage. For seniors seeking long-term food security and a simple path to better nutrition, goji berries are a top-tier perennial crop. Number 13. Elderberry. Elderberries are a time-honored perennial shrub that offers both beauty and practical value in the garden. Perfect for older gardeners interested in natural remedies, elderberries produce fragrant white flower clusters and small, dark purple berries rich in immune-boosting antioxidants. Plant them once in full sun or partial shade with moist, well-drained soil, and they'll flourish for decades with little care. Each year, you can harvest the flowers for teas and syrups and the berries for jams, cordials, or herbal remedies. Just remember, raw berries and leaves must be cooked before consuming, as they can upset the stomach. These resilient shrubs also attract pollinators and wildlife, adding life and motion to your garden. For seniors who value lasting health, seasonal beauty, and low-maintenance gardening, elderberries are a perennial favorite with purpose. When planting a perennial garden, especially for older gardeners, it's important to weigh both the startup speed and long-term productivity of each crop. Some perennials like chives, sorrel, garlic chives, and Egyptian walking onions offer harvest within the first season or two, making them great for quick returns. Others, such as asparagus, elderberries, and berry canes, require more patience, often taking 2 to 3 years to hit full stride, but can then produce reliably for decades. In terms of care requirements, low-maintenance plants like horseradish, mint family herbs, and walking onions thrive with minimal fuss. They tolerate neglect, spread on their own, and resist common pests. More delicate or sprawling crops like sweet potatoes, raspberries, and watercress may need a bit more space or occasional containment, but are still manageable with simple routines like mulching or light pruning. For seniors managing limited space or energy, a well-chosen mix of fast and slow starters can provide both early satisfaction and long-term abundance. For example, pair fast-growing herbs like chives and sorrel with longer-term commitments like asparagus and elderberry. This staggered approach keeps the garden productive and rewarding across seasons and years. If your garden space is tight, or if mobility is limited, consider grouping plants by care level or harvest style. Raised beds with compact herbs, borders of low-maintenance shrubs like goji or elderberry, and container-grown horseradish or mint are all great strategies. For those who enjoy variety without extra work, polyculture or interplanting, mixing crops with different root depths, growth habits, or blooming times can reduce weeds, attract pollinators, and extend harvests. For example, plant garlic chives beneath berry canes, or let sorrel and chives share a sunny corner. With smart planning, even a small space can become a diverse, self-sustaining garden that gives joy and food for years to come. A perennial garden isn't just about saving time or effort. It's about creating something that grows with you, season after season. For older gardeners especially, these crops offer a beautiful blend of reliability, flavor, and purpose. From the first tender shoots of chives in spring to the long-lasting abundance of elderberries, each plant brings its own rhythm, story, and reward. By choosing a mix of fast-yielding herbs and long-lived producers, you create a garden that's both manageable and deeply satisfying. With a little planning, even a small backyard or patio can become a space of nourishment, peace, and connection, year after year. Whether you're tending it daily or just watching it change through the seasons, a perennial garden reminds us that good things take root with care and grow stronger over time.